Last week was almost all big two and just a couple of indies, but this week the indies have struck back. Howdy, howdy, American Texan here, and welcome to the channel. We love to talk about comic books, the stories, the events, the things that we enjoy to read and see. And on Wednesdays, I share what I got on my pull list, as well as different consignment finds that come through my comic shop. And usually we have a lot of indies to read. Last week we had mostly of the DCs and Marvels, but the indies have come back. Most of this stack, including the trade that I got, is indie. So let's go through everything that we got at the comic shop this week. We also had several crowdfunds come in, they're not even in this stack. There's even more indies that we got. So first, let's start with what we found on consignment or on sale. Just got a couple of books and some goodies on sale here, starting with some more socks for my wife. She likes Christmas socks, so I got her another Christmas Story pair of socks. This one says, "Oh fudge," and these were only $5. Usually the socks are kind of expensive, but a really cool find I have. Now, my LCS is an LCS. It's a comic shop, but sometimes they get collections that have other things with comics, and so I guess this was one of those things. We've got an original Game Boy Yoshi, and this one's in fantastic condition. I can't believe how little they were charging for it. But this is my wife's favorite Mario character, and we do have a functioning Game Boy, so I think I'm going to just stick this in her stocking, and it'll be a nice little surprise and something maybe she can do if there's no internet, we're out in the country, or maybe just a little blast from the past. And then a couple of books that came in. You'll notice a theme here. It was an assortment of Spider-Man collections, and these couple really stood out to me. This is the Dallas Cowboys and Spider-Man. And so I think this was included with a newspaper, or maybe you got it with a newspaper order. I'm not sure exactly, but very interesting here. You've got the Dallas Cowboys, and then you'll sense a theme. This one's not Spider-Man, but the Uncanny X-Men at the State Fair of Texas. So a couple of Texas-themed comic books there. And it weren't the only ones. There was another one that was published in association with the Houston Chronicle, and another one associated with another Dallas paper. I didn't get those just because they were outside my budget, not necessarily something I chased to collect. But having these two, I think, are going to be a lot of fun to flip through and read. And the covers are pretty cool, too. I like that X-Men cover. And Spider-Man, you got the Dallas Cowboys there. So that's a lot of fun. And that's all that I got on sale. It was a busy week, so I didn't get to watch a lot of the live streams where they were showing off some of the collections for sale. But I did get this trade. This is The Witcher. It was kind of confusing my LCS owner. The Witcher. So this is the property The Witcher and the first short story, The Witcher, which they then put in comic form. And this is the first time I'm opening it up. Probably should have made sure that I could show all this stuff. But yeah, no, it looks good. Interesting. Very interesting. But I'm getting all the graphic novel stuff for The Witcher, so excited to get this. And it's a good hardcover. I don't collect a lot of hardcovers. On to the big two. Just two Marvel books this week, and one of them I still haven't even read. I really need to read. We got Daredevil and Punisher. This one's written by Palmiotti and illustrated by Bianchi. I enjoyed issue 1. It's a little bit of a side story, or a little bit of a different perspective from an already existing Punisher story. But I think it's interesting, so we'll continue reading that one. And then we also got Battle World number 4. Now, I ordered a special B cover for number 1, and it never came in. They were trying to track it down or try to get it reordered for me. And in the meantime, 3 more issues have come out. So I guess I got to just give up, read number 1, so I can get caught up in this one. But I hear good things, so that's why I haven't put it too much of a priority, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it based off of what I hear. But that's it from Marvel, just those two. I'm excited for several of these from DC. As far as DCKO All Fight Month, I only got the Titans number 30, which features Cyborg versus Swamp Thing. I haven't seen anything about this one. I hope it's going to be good. I saw some of the images from the Harley Quinn versus Zatanna, as well as some spoilers, because I really didn't care too much about spoilers. I just wanted to see, do I want to get this? Does the art look good? The art looks better than I thought it would. It looks a lot better than Wonder Woman versus Lobo, but it didn't quite look enough like it would be something I would enjoy for $5. So I decided to skip it. But Cyborg versus Swamp Thing, I will check this one out. I think this is the only other one that I'm going to read that's not by Snyder or Williamson. So hopefully that'll be good. And then we also got Batman, Superman, World's Finest. This one's written by Wade and illustrated by Gutierrez. We're doing a little bit of a Joker, Lex Luthor amalgam story here where they kind of combine, and it kind of looks like maybe Batman and Superman are going to combine. I don't know. It's kind of this one didn't have a super great introduction, like super like, oh my goodness, that's insane, like the Bizarro story that we just read. But I am pulling the series, so I'll continue reading it. I like the cover of this one, Superman Unlimited. I think this is doing a really good job of having those single issue self self-contained stories. And in this one, we've got Guy Gardner saying, "Out of my way, Soups. This is a job for Guy Gardner." We got that old school cover there. I think that looks fantastic. We got to zoom in on here. And this one is by Dan Slott and illustrated by Adams. And then we got the finale of Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. This one's written by W. Maxwell Print and illustrated by Morazzo, I believe. This one, it didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to. The story's still interesting. I enjoyed the last issue more than I did the middle issues. The first issue I still think was the best, but I'm hoping it will finish off strong, so it'll be something that I want to keep. Speaking of keepers, this one's definitely a keeper. We've got Batman Second Night. This is the sequel to First Night. And this one's by Dan Jurgens and Mike Perkins. And absolutely beautiful. Mike Spicer, I think, is a great colorist. I don't talk about colorists enough. But this one is really nice. We got old school, like 1920s setting Batman with a very old school horror scarecrow. And this one only comes out quarterly, I think, because it's been quite a while since the first issue. But I'm excited to read this one. This is one I like to sit down with a cup of coffee in the morning or at night, sit down with a beer and just spend 30 minutes enjoying this one, because it is in that premiere format. Really, really nice to read. All right, and then on to indies. First off, we've got Ghost Pepper number 6. The first arc just wrapped up with issue 5, and I'm going to be honest, I am pretty cool on it. So if this issue does not recapture me, does not introduce something that I'm going to be like, whoa, that was insane, I'm probably going to remove it from pull, and I will probably add it to my return box. For those of you who don't know, a lot of LCSs will just buy long boxes, not for great money. I mean, it's like $50 for a long box. But if they're just comics that I'd rather have the space and have the $50, I will put it in that long box. And so I'll just put it in there and just kind of fill the long box. And by the way, Ludo Lullaby, fantastic artist, and I think a pretty good writer from Ghost Pepper. It's just not my kind of story. But Space Ghost by Pepos and Lau, number 6 of the second volume. We've got Vampire Space Ghost? What? This looks awesome. I'm going to enjoy reading that one. Supernatural, number 3. This one's by Pack. Is it Greg Pack and Messina? No, sorry, Messias. I haven't read issue 2. That one fell back behind on me. I haven't heard anything bad, so I'll continue reading it, and I'll hopefully catch up on that one. And then we got Racer X. This one's by Mark Russell and Nuno Platti. Man, Speed Racer. I am all in on all of Speed Racer. This one looks fantastic, and the Racer X stories are kind of like taking place in between concurrently with the Speed Racer stories, and so that has been a lot of fun, and it elevates the Racer X, where it's not just another story or a side story, it's just a part of the story, told from a very unique perspective, so I really enjoy that one. And then we got Dick Tracy continuing on. It looks like he's still dealing with his World War I demons. This is Dick Tracy number 14 by Segura and Morikai. I don't know how to say that, but man, it's been fantastic. Really enjoying Dick Tracy. I wish more people were talking about it. And then we got The Future Is. It's what we call it at the comic shop. I haven't read a single one, but I hear nothing but good things. So once I get some extra time, hopefully over Christmas, I'll catch up on this one. Not sure I'll be doing all the hackathon stuff. It'd be nice, kind of fun to try. But this one will be a lot of fun to read. And that one is by Fred. It's kind of hard to see that. Fred Van Linte and Mario D'Alessandro. It's hard to. It looks good on camera, but I cannot see it with the contrast there, so I apologize for that. All right, then Conan 27. It's been actually kind of tough to avoid spoilers on this one because the reviewers on YouTube and podcasts have had this copy for a week, but this one looks interesting. Looks like more classic Conan, so I'm going to continue reading and enjoying that one. This one looks like it has a new illustrator, so we've got it, of course, written by Jim Zub and Dagnino or Dagnino if it's Italian, but Conan 27, absolutely going to love that one. A lot of these indies, man, they're just good. They stand on their own. I don't know what else to say. And then we've got G.I. Joe issue 16. This is Dreadnought War issue 4 of 5. I saw Comical Opinions was kind of cool on this one. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've been enjoying this series. I think it's back to like classic G.I. Joe. Super enjoying that one. And we got the Power Fantasy. This one is by Karen Gillian and Wingard. And this one is issue 14. I think we've only got 3 more issues or 2 more after this one. I'm enjoying where this is going. It's basically like if the X-Men was told in a Watchmen style. I'm really enjoying this one. This will be great to get in trade form, but I'm enjoying it monthly as well. We also got a few Youngbloods. In fact, I bought a couple. I accidentally bought a second one, so I need to take one back. But we got issue 1 reprint because I'd missed out on issue 1. I'm so happy though because this one is a fantastic cover. I love that classic cover. And then issue 2 came out. This is by Rob Liefeld. So I'll be catching up on this one. I'm excited to read this one. And then lastly, from the off-the-shelf indies, we've got Savage Sword of Conan Reforged, retelling classic Conan stories but colored. I also heard that they're not doing any edits to the story, so I'm glad. I'm always concerned about, changing some of the story to make it fit more modern sensibilities. Keep a good story. And so this one is Savage Sword of Conan, and this one is colored. So this one is by Roy Thomas and illustrated additionally by Bashima. And Alcala is a name on here. Maybe that's the colorist. I'm not sure. But that's Savage Sword of Conan Reforged, number 2. Now let's take a look at the crowdfunds that came in. All right, got a nice little stack of crowdfunds that came in, starting with Next Evolution. This one is by Bailey and Jimenez. This was recommended by John's Longbox. He said it's a fantastic indie story, so I said, hey, sounds good. I better go check it out. Anything John recommends, I'll check out. So we've got Next Evolution here. I got issues 1, 2, and 3, and came with a nice little thank you card on the back, as well as a trading card. I think it might be a sticker. Actually, it looks like a sticker size, so it might be a sticker. So excited to read that one, especially with John's recommendation. And then 2 of several of my favorite pure indie creators, so to speak, have come in. We've got from Visual Vibration, Paul Thayer, and we've got Voltage and Imperium. We got a hybrid trading card, which is funny because I think I already have a couple of these. I don't know if that's the only one printed, but we got Voltage and Imperium. I believe that if I remember correctly, this is a nice little story inside of the Project Nausis universe. So I'm excited to check that out. And then we've got a crowdfund as well as just a personal order from Grok Comics. We got Thief in the Night, number 2. Number 2, right? Yeah, number 2. This was on Kickstarter, so I checked it out. Thief in the Night is kind of like their Batman character. Very interesting. The naming is very unique. And look at that. We got some trading cards on the back. It looks like there's a couple of them in there, so I'm excited to rip that open and see what that is like. And some newly released books. They didn't kickstart them. They didn't crowdfund them. I think they just released them on their website. I'm on the email list, so I got them. We've got Parables of the Remnant, number 10. And this doesn't have the writer and illustrator on it, but the parables are kind of like the origin stories, I believe. So we've got the origin story of this character here. And it's a lot of fun to see the unique characters that Grok Comics puts out. And then we've got the Remnant Flash Forward. Now this one has a really cool little spot foil cover. So that's very cool. I didn't realize this one was here. So I'm not sure what this is, if it's a glimpse into the end of the end time wars or what's going on there. But that's pretty cool. It is a little thin book, so I'm not sure exactly what to expect. But those are a couple of new arrivals from Grok Comics. So there you have it. What are you excited to read this week? I'd love to know. Let's nerd out about what you're reading in the comments below. And if you are reading any of the books that I am, by all means hit subscribe, because on Mondays I like to do indie reviews. Fridays, I like to do Big 2 reviews, so I'll be doing that on the channel. So if you want to stick around and talk about comics, the stories, the things we like, the art that we enjoy, and just see what's going on in the world of comics, please, again, like and subscribe. So thank you guys for watching. Your time and attention mean the world to me, and I'll see you all in the next video. Adios.